The Open Ocean by Kevin Nikovic, Kenny Jones, and Jay Kerman.
The ocean covers over 71% of the Earth's surface. Its temperatures can range from 28 degrees Fahrenheit to 96 degrees Fahrenheit. Limiting factors in the ocean are light, temperature, salinity, pH, dissolved gases, and hydrostatic pressure. Some of the many oceanic species include sharks, whales, turtles, dolphins, fish, octopus, squid, plankton, kelp, seagrass, and krill. Ocean animals have made several important adaptations that allow them to live in their environment. Fish have gills which allow them to take oxygen out of the water so that they can breathe. Most fish also have a streamlined shape, as well as a tail and fins help them move easily and quickly through the water. Also, fish may use a swim bladder, or the liver, which will help the fish control its buoyancy and stay at a certain depth. Mammals have also developed adaptations and have slowed aerobic processes so they do not need to breathe as often. The open ocean food web is comprised of a variety of plants and animals and is infinitely complex. Some animals even feed on multiple trophic levels, such as crabs, which eat both seagrass and small shrimp. An example of oceanic competition is different types of algae and plankton who compete with each other for sunlight. An example of commensalism are whales and barnacles. The barnacle attaches itself to the whale and benefits from the whale, but the whale does not seem to be affected in any way. An example of mutualism is the pilot fish and the shark. The pilot fish cleans sharks of parasites, so the shark gets cleaned and pilot fish gets a free meal. An example of parasitism is the copepod, which attaches to the Greenland shark, and the copepod then drains the Greenland shark of all of its nutrients. And finally, an example of predation is the great white shark, who feeds on tuna.
Blue whales are found in all oceans of the world. However, they are found mostly in cold and temperate waters, such as the Arctic and Antarctic oceans, and prefer deeper ocean waters to coastal waters. During the winter months, however, they are known to migrate to the waters of the tropics and the equator. They are often found swimming in small groups, but usually alone or in pairs. An adult blue whale, during the summer feeding session, consumes up to 40 million tiny shrimp-like animals known as krill each day, and therefore its major niche, or role, in the biome is to manage the krill population. The blue whale also incidentally consumes small fish and squid caught up with the krill. Also, blue whale corpses provide dozens of animal species food, such as the sleeper shark. And blue whales are also important because they help to absorb the impurities of the sea, such as mercury and other toxic waste. If blue whales were to go extinct, there would be an over-reproduction of phytoplankton, because blue whales are their primary consumers, which could result in the phenomenon known as red tide. Red tide occurs when algae accumulate rapidly and results in the decolorization of the surface water. Red tides, while they do not pose an imminent threat to humans, can seriously harm other marine life. The blue whale is believed to have evolved from terrestrial hoofed mammals like cows, camels, and sheep some 45 million years ago, which is about 40 million years before humans. Recent studies have also suggested that the closest land-bound living relative to the blue whale may be the hippopotamus. Some of these adaptations include the bodies of the blue whales have become streamlined for efficient movement through the water. Their forelimbs have been modified into flippers, which aid them in steering. Their hind limbs have disappeared almost completely. Their tail has become broadened horizontally and consists of two large flukes, which propel them powerfully through the water by moving up and down, rather than side to side like a fish. In place of hair, they have developed a thick layer of fat called blubber under their skin that insulates them from the cold and provides buoyancy. And lastly, the position of their nostrils has shifted to the top of their head, creating a blowhole that allows them to effectively come to the surface for air. It was because of the whale hunting, or whaling era, that diminished or decreased the whale count by such a massive number that blue whales are endangered today. In the year 1931, 29,649 whales were killed. By 1966, the International Whaling Commission declared these whales as protected animals. Mostly, whaling was carried out by the fishing ships of the Soviet Union in the Antarctic Ocean, which caused their numbers to decrease drastically. It is often considered that the major reason for whaling is the enormous size of the blue whales that turned humans towards attacking them. These whales do not pose any threat to humans, though. In fact, many whales are victims of the heavy sea traffic, getting run over by ships, as they usually inhabit the surface waters. Their huge sizes mean that they do not have any natural predators in the sea. Humans are thus the basic and most obvious reason for these blue whales being endangered today. The International Whaling Commission has taken various steps to protect these wonderful creatures. Committees of experts have been formed to work against whaling, entrapment, and predation of the blue whales. Besides, these creatures reproduce just one calf at a time, unlike other sea creatures. The female blue whale reproduces only once in 2 years, and hence their numbers do not increase a lot. Although whaling substantially reduced blue whale populations worldwide during the first half of the 20th century, whaling is no longer considered a threat. Nevertheless, all these factors that I just mentioned contribute to support the fact that now there are less than 15,000 blue whales left on Earth, making them a critically endangered species. We can all make some small contributions by doing our part, and save not only the blue whales, but any creature that has fallen into the list of endangered species.
The hawksbill turtle finds its home in the coral reef. They usually find caves or niches in reefs to rest and raise their young. In coral reefs, the species plays an important role by keeping algae at a healthy level within the reef. Like other animals, they play their part in keeping the food chain steady. Besides eating, hawksbill turtles are relatively independent and do not react much with the surrounding ecosystem. Hawksbill turtles have a symbiotic relationship with reef fish, who help out by removing critters that try to make home on the turtle's shell. Hawksbill turtles have several evolutionary traits that make them unique. They have a beak-like mouth that allows for feeding in the reef to occur with more ease. They also have overlapping scutes on their shells to protect them from the various jagged edges that protrude in a coral reef. Hawksbills also have defined exterior patterns that are unique to themselves. Their closest relatives are other members of the turtle family. The hawksbill turtle is currently critically endangered. This is a result of human hunting over the years. In some countries, the hawksbill is treated as a restaurant delicacy. Their shells also have varying purposes in different cultures. Hawksbills are also hunted for oil, leather, and cosmetics. Efforts are now underway to protect this unique and exotic species. It is now illegal to hunt, kill, and import or export hawksbill turtle in international waters. Also, many different organizations such as the United States Fish and Wildlife Service have created awareness in the marine community by placing the species on a critical level of endangerment. Throughout their life, green sea turtles move between 3 different habitats. As mature adults, they spend most of their time closer to the shore in coastal seagrass beds, and will annually migrate to beaches where they will lay their eggs. Most younger green sea turtles spend their time in the open ocean, away from the shore. The green sea turtle's niche in its habitat is that of an herbivore, as it is constantly eating seagrass and algae. Green sea turtles are mostly solitary creatures and only congregate in large numbers during breeding periods. Their only predators are humans and the occasional tiger shark as adults, but as hatchlings they are eaten by a wide variety of life such as crustaceans and seabirds. The green sea turtle has a symbiotic relationship with a wide variety of small ocean-going fish, who peck at the turtle's shell, giving them free food and the turtle a free wash. Green sea turtles originally evolved from land animals and over time gradually became aquatic animals. The first recorded turtle fossils were found in the late Jurassic period, a time when dinosaurs roamed the earth. It has many close cousins today such as the loggerhead, the hawksbill, and the olive ridley turtles. Some adaptations made by sea turtles to fit into their environment are their aerodynamic shell shape, which allows them to swim easier. Also, their front and rear limbs have evolved into flippers, which allows them to swim faster. They have also slowed their metabolic processes so that they can stay underwater for prolonged periods of time. The green sea turtle species is currently endangered. It is harmed intentionally by humans by processes such as hunting and egg harvesting. More dangerous are unintentional threats, including boat strikes, fishermen's nets, pollution, and habitat destruction. They are protected under the Endangered Species Act of 1973 and are gradually attaining a larger population, but it will take time for them to rebuild their population when they live lives as long as 100 years.